Have you ever hired someone whose CV and portfolio looked like they were the best man for the job? During the interview, they were so confident, they were so convincing, heck, you even hired them the next day. But when you actually start giving them tasks, they can't live up to your expectations. In this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid something like this from ever happening again. I'm going to explain how to do skill-based hiring. Primarily, how to filter out the unskilled candidates before you even interview them, saving you a lot of time and money. I've used these methods to place talent to Fortune 500 companies, Hollywood producers, and 7-figure marketing teams. The talent stayed with my clients for years, so this works. Let's dive into it. Most marketing teams don't know you don't need to create your own skill test or even design one for people to apply on your website. If you want to hire someone for video production, ad creatives, design work, you need to test a lot of different skills. You want to make sure that they're not only good at a specific skill, but the complementary skills that support that specific skill. For example, how do you test a copywriter? Besides actually have them doing some copy work for you, but we'll get into that later. A copywriter needs to have excellent English, excellent verbal reasoning, knowledge on SEO, and even content strategy. And there is a way to test all of these things at the same time, without you having to design the tests yourself. I use what's called TestGorilla. This is how to use it. Alright, so as you can see, we are in my TestGorilla dashboard. Now, I'm going to walk you through how to create an assessment and the logic behind picking which assessments to test for a specific role. Again, this is a paid version because obviously I need it for my agency, but they offer a lot of free tests as well. So follow along with this and maybe you might consider getting a paid version if you're hiring a lot of people, right? So let's start with this one. Let's say we're hiring for a content writer, right? Let's say that. So work arrangement will be remote, and then job role location, I usually just do worldwide. And then I use assessment template, and then we click next here. Oop. All right. So even from the get-go, TestGorilla would actually already recommend you some tests to do. But I'm going to run you through what I usually do for content writing. So the logic behind this is, first of all, you would want to actually outline what does a content writer do in your company, right? Does he or she strictly write content, or is he responsible for the strategy? Is he responsible for the SEO? Is he responsible for analytics? These are all different complementary skills that actually make up a good content writer, right? Of course, in terms of the actual copy itself, you would want them to do a task, right? Like an article, for example. So I'm going to show you my line of thinking. So I usually just go to the suggested one and the popular one for first. I don't do anything too vague like motivation or like time management. This is pretty important for video editors, not content writers, in my opinion. So something like this, SEO copywriting. If your copywriters are responsible for researching the keywords, then you would want to put this in. And as you can see here, right, once we put it here, you can see the level of the example of questions here, right? How would you optimize the client's website, rank, and query? And as you can see right here as well, in the details tab, it is made by an actual SEO expert. So it's really good. You can preview the sample questions first before actually doing anything. And then just click next, and then see whether you think it's good or not, right? If you think it's good, put it in, right? So SEO copywriting here, I would also do content strategy as well. Verbal reasoning is one of the important ones as well, because you would want to have your copywriter be able to link cause and effect and have reasoning and flow within your copywriting, right? And the one other thing that I always test for sure is English. So what you want to do is either English C2 or C1. Really depends on the level of detail or the level of English needed. For example, companies with a more technical type of material would need someone English C2 or proficient, because it's very hard to translate not so easily digestible content into easily digestible content. So, but for most remote talent, actually, to be quite honest with you, English C1 is pretty sufficient. Like for video editors, C1 is fine, but C2 is like the highest level of proficiency. So that's what you want to pick if you're going for a content writer. And from here, you would want to do tests that you think are important. Like we have content strategy, verbal reasoning, attention to detail. Will your content writer need a lot of attention to detail, or could he or she just use the company's Hemingway account, for example, right? Reading comprehension, Swedish, probably not. I mean, if you're Swedish. So oh no, that's more towards graphic designers, to be honest. Typing speed, if you value someone that really types really fast, you can put in typing speed. This is for more lead teams. So they have almost everything, even e-commerce skills as well. So yeah, Test Gorilla really, really powerful to basically filter out candidates based on their skills. So we can also go to this tab as well here, digital marketing proficiency. So we can have, for example, if your copywriter is someone that will do a lot of copy for LinkedIn, for example, right? Say they do a lot of LinkedIn. I'm just scrolling through here. Okay. Let's say they do a lot of LinkedIn, or they do email marketing, for example, right? They execute email campaigns, cold email, warm email to your list. You can add this in as well. Boom. You have a maximum of 5. That's awesome. Then we click next over here. Now here is where it gets really nice. This is a paid version, I'm pretty sure. But if you're willing to invest, I don't have an affiliate code. They don't have an affiliate code, sadly, because I keep promoting their company. It sucks they don't have an affiliate code. But you can have this, for example, to do essays. You can do something like this, where they are given 1 hour. Please write a 300-word article on machine learning. Boom. Right? So you can do something like this. This is skill test. What to look for is answers. For example, this is for your internal team, so the candidates won't see this. Conciseness, relevant information, etc. Right? Question category, job skills. Why is this question relevant? Skill test. Boom. And then they'll just fill it in here. Perfect, right? So the essay question here, you can also, I sometimes have them do video introductions as well. So if you look at mine, introducing yourself, I have this one. So you can do introduce yourself in 60 seconds and explain why you're a great candidate for this role, right? Can you do next? And then you can review before you send it in. So in total, the test will be around 112 minutes, which is not bad. 10 minutes, up to 12 minutes for each section, and then 60 minutes to write the article, right? You can also do something like, we will check the article for AI generated content, and any AI generated content spotted will mean automatic disqualification from the hiring process. You can also do something like that, right? And then that's it. Once you have that, you just click on finish. And then once you click on finish, it will take you to a place where you can copy the link and send it to your candidates. So this is how you use Test Gorilla to test for complementary skills. I know I didn't dive deep into the test task, and I'm going to dive deeper into it in the next section of this video. Now you know how to test the complementary skills around the role or skill that you're hiring for. Now, how do you test the actual skill you're hiring for? They can be so good at English, they can be so good at verbal reasoning, but if you're looking for a copywriter and they can't even write good or converting copy, then what's the point? You need to test them using the day-to-day tasks that they'll actually be doing if they get hired by your company. Plus, you also need to test how they would do under pressure. I'll show you how to do this. Alright, this is how you would design a skill test. So I know I showed you an example in Test Gorilla before, but this is how you would actually want to go about with the methodology. You would want to test them on 2 things, right? Speed test and quality test. Speed test is a task that they need to complete within a very tight deadline. So this could be 1 to 3 hours, depending on how complex you want the task to be, right? Another example is a quality test. The second part is the quality test, which is given enough time, how high of a quality work can they actually produce? So we're talking 24 hours to 48 hours turnaround time, right? So I'm going to give you an example of a video editor. So a video editor, same framework, 3 hours and 24 hours. What we will do is first you would create the brief. So provide the footage, provide the reference, and provide the instructions, right? So I give a reference for Mozy here, other references. And then what you want to do is make sure for the speed test, right? They would need to record them doing the speed test as proof that they actually did it within 3 hours, right? So you would want them to just hit up Loom or OBS while they do the editing, and then you check whether they actually did it from scratch until finish within the deadline or the time duration that you set for them, right? And that's it. What they have to do is submit the footage or like the video, and then also the recording of them doing it from scratch. So you can check whether they actually did it in time. The second part is the quality test. For the quality test, all you need to do is make sure you give them a brief or a task that's a bit more complex, but it can really bring out their ability. For example, for this one, the references I gave, there were a bit of animations here and there, right? Which will kind of have them doing animations from their side based on the references and see how skillful they are. For this one, I don't require them to do a screen record because 24 hours is quite a long time. As long as you have a clear deadline in mind, and then you have a clear deadline, okay, from the moment you finish the test gorilla test until the moment this deadline is up, I'll give you 48 hours. It's fine. They can use all the resources they can, all the time they need to provide the best work as possible based on the brief that you would be having them doing in your company day to day anyways, right? So I'll put the references here and then send them all to you or your HR team once done. So if you do these two things, you'll get candidates that actually prove their skill by doing stuff or doing work that are similar to what they're going to do in your company. So for example, a video editor for an e-commerce company will do a lot of UGC ads or very simple edits at volume compared to like a very highly animated SaaS company that would need more animations, more intricate storytelling that requires more time, right? So you would get someone that actually can do the skill that you're looking for, and B, you can test them on two things, right? How they do under pressure and how they do when given enough time. Do this, and I guarantee you'll never be fooled by the CVs and portfolios of your candidates ever again. Now you know how to do skill-based hiring. This way, you'll never be fooled by CVs and portfolios ever again, and you actually hire skilled remote talent that will help you scale your company. But do you know what type of remote talent you need to hire? If you're thinking of hiring VAs, you might be mistaken. I explain why you shouldn't hire VAs here. Like and subscribe for more content, and let me know what you want to see on remote hiring.